open the meeting. Do pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Secretary, would you do roll call, please?
Oh, that's me. Funway.
Here.
Sotheby.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Bozardic.
Yes.
And Dunn. Here.
Approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve.
Support. Okay, we have a motion by Dunn, supported by Fisher. All in favor?
Aye.
Post same sign. Public comments on items not on the agenda. Approval of minutes from the meeting of April 24th.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dunn, supported by Sotheby. All in favor?
Aye.
Post same sign. Bill review, A, the expense revenue bill run.
I've got one question.
What page?
I don't know what page it was on. It was for 6 hats. Those special hats for $120.
What was it called?
6 hats.
What page?
I don't know. It was when I went through the today. It was for tool sport design.
Oh, the hats, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 6 hats.
Yeah,
For $120.
right. That's for logoed ones in front.
Just
Okay.
seemed like a lot. Yeah.
And I just had one quick question on page 6, the log me in. Does it say incorrect?
Yes, they had charged us on a recurring subscription, but we had decided to stop the login.com. So they're going to give us a refund on the next credit card.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the revenue and expense bill run for May 1st to May 15th, 2017, for a total of $21,750.18.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion by Fisher, supported by Dunn. Roll call, please.
Bozardic.
Yes.
Sotheby.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Dunn. Yes. Funway.
Yes.
Okay, B, this is year-to-date revenue and expense report.
I'll move to receive and file.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Dunn, supported by Sotheby. All in favor?
Aye.
All same sign.
Quick question, we just have 1 month left, right?
That one is actually 2016. The first one.
Well, I'm in for the next one. Yes, okay, yeah, for this fiscal year, we're 1 month.
No, we're a calendar year.
What am I looking at?
It goes 16 and then 17.
Oh,
So the first couple of pages. I think they included 16.
the
because-
DDA's on the,
I think we were waiting for a journal entry or something.
I'm not sure because the audit should be done, so I don't know how we can switch anything
Yeah, I
for
can
16, but I was
leave it off
checking
next time,
with,
so it's stable.
With Susan McCullough today because trying to figure out the AT&T payments. I was trying to figure out how many payments were actually on the 16 one.
Right.
Because we actually got a 2016, that last quarter check was received in March.
Right. That's
She
when they
said it's
captured.
She said it was attributed to 2016.
Okay, C is the, excuse me, year-to-date revenue and expense report for 17.
Move to receive and file.
Support?
We have a motion by Dunn, supported by Fisher. All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign.
I did just want to thank Leonard Village very much for their very large payment.
Occasionally we're good.
And D, the invoice and distribution report for April 17.
Make a motion to receive and file the GL distribution report for April 2017.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Fisher, supported by Sotheby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Unfinished business. Budget revision. Lori?
I still have not received a audit report from Oxford, and I'm still just not sure. I don't want to go through this whole thing and then figure out I'm a couple of dollars off. So I would like to set this aside for another month.
I'll move to set it aside.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion by Dunn, supported by Fisher. All in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. And the drone documentation.
I'll move that over to my pilot, Elgin, to,
Guys, this is a Phantom 4 Pro Plus. It's the most advanced DJI drone in the business for its price range. It has sensors all around it. It will actually, if it sees a unit that you're flying into, it will stop. It'll go avoid that item. I'm going to power it up right now, show you what it'll do, and we'll run it through some tests. So here are the motors start up.
Can you turn the camera on?
Yeah. You'll see the screen light up here in just a moment, using the Wi-Fi.
Can you plug that into a bigger screen? Like a bigger monitor?
You could do that. I didn't bring a larger screen.
Well, I'm just saying you can, though. Yeah.
But normally we'll take this out in the field. There's a number of preliminary things that you need to do. What's interesting to know here is even though I use the Wi-Fi out of the studio, and we thought maybe we would have to use a password to get into this one, it connected immediately. So it'll follow whatever Wi-Fi that it has. Okay. We're in Go Fly, so we could take off right now if we wanted to. But right now, I'm going to test the motors. You see the gimbal on this is moved, and the camera has readjusted. It's a 4K camera with high definition capability. So it takes some really, really good pictures. We're going to fire up the motors here.
get a haircut.
Do some weed whacking for me.
That's exactly right.
Turn it upside down.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Trying through some test check. You see the screen? This is a flight screen. It actually records everything as far as flight is concerned for documentation. Go running through test.
While you're running through, could you give everybody an update on the drone that we may be using for Tough Mudder and whatever?
The drone you're going to be using for the Tough Mudder is very similar to this one. It's 1 or 2 miles behind this one. But it does a pretty good job in terms of recording.
So Oaccc is going to be recording those 2 events?
No. This will not be done. It's not trained yet. We haven't got his license to
No,
do
I'm
it yet.
talking about the other person that's part of
Oh,
the fire department.
Yes.
Are we going to allow him to?
He's going to video for us.
Okay, it's not going to let me bring up the impellers on this because it has a magnetic problem. Currently, there's some metal in this area. You have to be so many feet away from it in order to power it up. So it will not, it's a protection to the blades and to the machine. Otherwise, if I didn't have the magnetic field around me, whatever it is, you would see these propellers go around and fire up and be able to shut down and kind of a test flight that we'd be performing. Unfortunately, it's off that air magnetic field interference. I'll see if I can override it.
Is it the mic that's sitting next to it?
Very possible.
The mic or the police? Yeah, the police department probably.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Oh, I just checked the GPS and it's approved where we're located. There we go. Okay, it's testing each of the motors right now. You're it's going through the sequence. You'll see these lights flash at the same time these impellers are going. We can actually, if we wanted to, we could take off at this point. And I could fly it. I'm under automatic control right now, so under automatic control you can fly 90 feet high. Of course you don't have 90 feet here, but you do have a ceiling which it senses. That's why you're getting the tone. It's telling you there's a problem. Magnetic field within the area and you're flying within a confine that will not allow it, safely to fly. We can run through this test, we can shut it down. So it's ready to go at this point. It does some really neat things in terms of photography. That's a subject all in itself, and very, you have to be very art capable, which our studio people have that ability. This can, for example, hover 90 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet in the air. You can program it so it will circle 360 degrees and check the horizon. You can zoom in on any subject that you want. If, let's say, you have a group of people that are running a race, you can single one person in that race. It will time into the computer and control unit, and it'll zero in on that person, lock in. And it'll actually take that speed that person is traveling and follow that individual to the completion of the race. A lot of technical ability that this unit has, creative capability that our people have, should be able to really make this thing whistle. Next step, we're going to get it registered. It hasn't been registered yet, and it takes quite a while to learn all the ins and outs. It has a 30-minute battery on it in terms of run time. It can go up to 4.5 miles if we want to. For an FAA, we can only go to the line of sight. So, and we wouldn't want to go beyond that. There's other restrictions too. After I get it registered, it'll get numbers on it. Then I have to go through the primer, and I think it's Bill's decision to have me take the FAA test. I'll become a pilot then for it. And once I become a pilot, we can teach others how to use a drone. We can actually be an educational institution, for the process of learning this drone. And other drones too, actually, once you get a pilot license. The gentleman that will be doing the shooting has graciously approved to do the Tough Mudders. As I say, has a Phantom unit and has offered the ability to use it for the Tough Mudders. And I believe Terry's going to work with him. Is that right, Terry?
I don't know, I haven't.
As far as
We're good.
gathering the shots. Okay.
Why aren't we using this one?
Because I don't have the license yet.
Oh, it'll take that long?
I haven't, well, yeah, it will. Once I go through the primer alone will take a day or two to learn that part of it. I've been reading steadily since I got this, on the weekend and so forth. So I pretty much know how it operates and what the rules are. But you have to go through the primer, just make sure you're prepared for the FAA license, test. The test is an hour and there's 60 questions on the test. I've already talked to the FAA. There's a location in Lapeer. They're expecting us, maybe not this week, but the following week, to contact them and make arrangements for the test. So that's where we are on it. I've tested out all the mechanicals on it. Everything functions perfect. You want to take a look at the screen here? In one corner, you'll see where it's pointed our location. A little screen down here. We can switch that over to a large location, which will give us the map in which we're located. And we can choose what points on the map that we want this drone to follow. So it's pretty nifty. And this screen that we have is unlike any other screen that you have on a cell phone, whatever. It's very bright so that you can see your images in the bright light outside. This screen comes with the Advanced Pro. The other units don't have it. You have to provide your own. And there are updates on these periodically. When I came into the studio today, there was already 2 updates waiting for me for the software. So I updated them, ready to go. Okay, any questions?
Do they make goggles for those?
Make goggles?
Where it snaps in so that you can see better in the day?
Well, this one, they say you don't need it. You could put a shield on it, I suppose, you know, the shield.
I've seen some other ones that you actually basically wear.
Yeah, the reason why they have them is because their light, in terms of brightness, is very poor. So unless you had a bright screen, you wouldn't be able to see it. This one here, they claim you don't need it. So it's quite an advanced system that we're looking at.
So that's not, that one didn't come as we originally talked about with like the iPad?
No, the iPad, this actually became part of the package. Originally, we would have had to purchase an extra iPad. Don't have to do that. But it comes in, interesting enough, at the same price. So we just caught it at a time where they upgraded it and made some major improvements, which we're very happy to see.
Elton, are there rules about flying over people or events or?
Yes. One of the things that you look at as a pilot is what the concentration of population is that you're going to shoot. If you're going to shoot a large population, you need to be away from them. Now keep in mind, you can shoot up to 400 feet high, and you can zoom. So that means you can run parallel to a parade or whatever you want to do without being in the midst of the population. They don't recommend that you take the drone and fly down, you know, the center of the avenue and shoot it. You don't really have to, because this unit is so precise in terms of its ability to get close-ups. That's a good question.
Is this thing insured? Does it have to be insured?
Sure. We have submitted a form to John Gandolfi. We just got the drone, so Elgin has to fill out a couple of the serial numbers and models and what have you that relate to the drone. But we'll send that in and get an estimate.
And you can't take it hunting with you. You cannot take it hunting with you.
Okay.
Only when your four-wheeler fixed.
I'll take a note of that.
What is the speed that it can fly?
This will fly 40
Vertical.
miles an hour if you wanted to. There's actually 3 capabilities. One is under using the I said map, I just missed it. What do you call it? GPS. It has GPS capability, which is P position. There's switches in the back. There's the S for sport, which is if you want to catch a race car or something along that line, it'll fly maximum 40 miles an hour. Then there's one other setting. It's an A setting, which is allows you to use a combination of whatever you want to, but when you do that, if you want additional speed, if you want additional, no capability of checking sensors in front of you, you know, trees and so forth, then you use the A, but that becomes only useful in a wide open area, like a desert, I would pick, because then you actually lose the ability of the automatic features that this machine has, and you don't want that to happen. So GPS is the way that I feel most of everything we'll use will be on GPS. You can use the special features I mentioned, you know, about shooting parallel, shooting from a high distance. You can actually establish the distance you want to shoot from. Most cases, we would shoot about 90 feet high rather than 400 feet.
Can I add to that, as far as speed is concerned, you want to also bear in mind, and the shooter would, the composition of what you're shooting. You don't want to go too fast. So it wouldn't be zooming all the time.
No.
It's capable, if there was, say, some kind of sporting event. As far as your main concern is highly happy.
And that's why the people that Bill has suggested, and Terry, to work with this with me down the line, they all have video capability, and they recognize the art involved to get the proper shoots. They're probably our best camera people that we have, with the exception of one, which is very good. That'd be Russell. But they also have some technical capability as well.
You're messing up with my shooter over here.
I'm messing up.
He's a big photographer over here, my right-hand side.
I have credits.
You have credits. Okay. Well, we can put Bill through this training if you'd like.
No, it's all right.
Does it record in a hard drive within that unit itself, or does it record at a separate computer in the TV station?
It will record on a micro SD chip. Not the large size SDs that you're familiar with in the cameras here. They're smaller. But the advantage you have in the smaller micro is the fact that it records a lot faster, and also you retrieve the data much faster. One thing it does require, though, to transfer the data over to the edit equipment is a converter, a little unit that it fits into. So it looks like a larger SD. So we'll be getting those. Terry's shaking her head yes. She knows all about these.
I was asking Elgin, I said, so that's the on button, and what is that button? That's come home.
It does have a return home on it, and that's this button right here. And at any time that the operator wants it to return home, you just press that, it'll fly back to where the operator or the pilot is, and then the pilot can indicate the height they want it to go, which is usually about 4 or 5 feet above ground. And then by using this stick here, can pull it back and it'll gently land on the ground.
So if you lose any type of communication with that unit for whatever reason, it'll automatically come back from where it started?
It will stop, it'll come back to the frequency where it lost it. And you will recommunicate and the screen will tell you that you're now connected.
Suppose it can't pick up the communication again?
Oh, it will. It's smart. This thing is so smart.
It's more than us.
Yeah. If it all of a sudden doesn't have a lifeline, it says, whoops, this isn't right. So it turns around, comes back, the same route that it took, until it gets another signal, which time it'll send a message to the controller saying, look, we have a signal. So it'll give you an indicator here. So you now control the drone. If you want to go a different route and so forth, you can do that. Or if you wanted to home, you can have it home.
His arm.
Does it record sound?
It will record sound if you wanted to. Yep. It has the ability.
And
Both video and sound.
the registration fee, is that annually or is that one time?
The registration is one-time fee.
And the pilot license?
Once you register, then you're in the computer bank, for the FAA. They just want to make sure that you've got your numbers assigned, that if you get into trouble, they got a way to find out who you are. And everybody, regardless if it's hobby, or if it's in this case to be used for professional use, they all have to be registered. So if you see people flying drones around, they're not registered, they probably don't know it. But if they cause damage to another person's property or in an area that it shouldn't be, like you can't fly within airport within 5 miles. That's your limit. You cannot fly to airport unless you have permission from the airport.
And then the pilot's license, is that?
Pilot's license, I believe it's renewable. However, to take the test initially, I believe it's $150, through the FAA, and I believe it's good for 3 years. Kind of like the builder's license.
Alrighty.
Good questions, though, I have to say.
Yeah, good questions. We have two.
When do you expect an answer back, Dave, from the insurance company?
Pardon?
When do you expect an answer back from the insurance company?
We will send them as soon as we'll send the form to them as soon as we get the information. We'll just fax it to them. And they are actually scheduled to renew our insurance in July, so they should have an estimate for us before then.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I'd like to compliment you folks for deciding to take this step, because this is going to be a unique product, we're going to have for the studio. It's not an inexpensive way to go, but when you look at all of our cameras, they're not inexpensive either. They're professional, and they run anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500, $3,900. So I think we'll get a lot of benefit out of this. Bill has shown me a number of videos that they have on YouTube that others have used similar cameras for, for this type of production, and they have turned out very well. We hope to do the same. Down the line here too, and Bill and I discussed this, it really opens some doors to other opportunities too, which we don't want to really get into at this point.
Can you fly this at night?
You can fly at night, but you have to get a special waiver. That waiver is it's a 336 license requirement, and it's a waiver 333, which you have to apply for the FAA.
So when is night realized?
I don't really see a need. Well, you can fly at 2.
No, when does the FAA determine what night is? I mean, 6 o'clock in the evening in the summertime, or?
From dusk to dawn, past that. Past dusk is nighttime. And the FAA, it takes a little while to get that, permission if you go that route. But we could have no problem getting approval, I'm sure. I just question the ability to use it at nighttime, unless maybe the community, the township feels that there's a need to have one fly at night. Then we might look at that as a possibility.
But do you have infrared on that?
Infrared, yes. Well, that's a subject I didn't even hit on. The camera has the ability to do infrared. So if let's say the police department is having a problem catching a guy, we could fly this at nighttime, infrared would pick him up, tell the police where he's located.
Okay, but I thought that we were
We're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. No.
It's an option that a unit has, and this has so many features on it. That down the line, you may change your mind. I mean, there may be...
Well, most football games you guys record are done at night, though, right?
But it's lit.
Well, it's still nighttime.
Yeah. Oh, you mean for a drone?
Yeah.
Well, you
The
could
field
fly
is all
over-
lit up.
You could fly, you wouldn't have to fly, you wouldn't want to fly over a stadium. You could fly next
Away from it.
In parallel, zoom in on
I'm
it.
saying it's still nighttime.
Yeah.
Or you could do it even before dusk in football. They don't usually start right at nighttime, do they?
7 o'clock
I've seen
at night.
daylight when I've been doing shooting with Bill.
Yeah.
Like a homecoming?
Yeah.
That you could catch homecoming before.
Oh, yeah.
But, if this board feels at some point that you want to do night shooting, then take it up with our station manager, Bill, and he'll tell me what to do, I guess. That's where we are.
Currently, we're only doing daylight, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. We'll be doing that for quite a while.
You have to keep in mind, we've only had this for a week, so everything that you see, we had to learn, I've read reams of manuals, on this thing and other ways to fly and so forth.
Well, just some of these questions I'd like clarified on this list of policies and procedures.
What would you like to know?
Well, I want it listed about the insurance. I want it listed that it's only us. I think I saw that.
There's going to be, as I see it, roughly 3 of us.
And that there's no nighttime flights. I want
That's
some
a
of those
stipulation
things
you want to
listed
have on
out.
it. I think Bill has told me there won't be any nighttime flying, at least not this time.
We're not registered for that. We're not going to do that anyhow.
I can't do anything yet. You got to be registered and you got to get the pilot's license first. Those are the next steps. As far as insurance, David and I have talked about insurance, so has Bill in the office. So I know it's a point of interest that they have to pursue.
Right, but I want it listed in this policy and procedure.
You could attach it as an addendum. I think that's a pretty normal thing to ask. Yeah, have insurance on the equipment? Yeah. Have liability in case something happens? I think the answer
What
is
I'm
yes.
saying is on this list, this policy that you're submitting here, I want all the rules for it.
Well, see, one of the things you're looking at here is that a lot of the rules you're talking about are stipulated by the FAA. We have no control over, period. So we have to see exactly where we fall into this thing. We do know that we're trying to protect it right now by doing certain things cautiously, by establishing only key people that can operate it, and they're tied into FAA regulations that you can only do this at certain times with certain people and certain situations.
Does that state?
Correct, but what I'm saying is that if the FAA says that you can't fly at night, I want that listed here.
Well, they don't say
Because the
that.
next person doesn't know
They really
that.
don't say that.
In that policies and
Operations
procedures,
manual?
does it say that we have to follow the FAA rules? It says that somewhere in that policy.
See, they really don't,
Statement that you need.
they really don't say that you can't fly at nighttime. They're just telling you need to get a waiver. You just
No,
can't do it
but
until you get a
Bill
waiver.
has said that the policy at OCTV is not to fly at night.
Right.
If that is our policy at OCTV not to fly at night, I want it listed on this policy. Has nothing to do with FAA. It's our rules.
Well, you can, I don't see any reason why you couldn't stipulate it on the policy, but at some point you may change your mind.
And when we do, then we can vote to change it. But
Thank you.
right now,
That's
we're
what I was
going
looking
to, we're going to okay certain things.
But the FAA states that you have to get a certain registration to be able to fly at night. So we're following FAA rules by not having that registration or registering for it if we don't, if we want to.
And I understand that, Terry, but if the FAA rules say that you can fly at night, but we say you can't fly at night, we saying we can't fly at night is part of our policy procedure. It has nothing to do with FAA rules.
Understand that, but
Okay.
by virtue of the fact that we're only applying for the daytime registration, that's the FAA rule. And FAA rule is that you have to have a registration if you're going to fly at night. So either way, we're following FAA rules if we're only flying it during the day, and that's the only registration we have.
If,
We are complying with FAA rules.
Then please put that in there. I don't understand why you can't just write that down. What is the big deal?
but I would put in there, if
And
you're
I
going to
think we
put
ought to beat the
anything,
horse a little more.
Yeah, I think we should too, because I fail to understand why anybody can't understand what I'm saying.
If-
I'm passing this on to Bob Davis to okay this
Sure.
policy.
This isn't really a policy though, is it?
Well, that's what I asked for, this is what I was given.
In the envelope that you guys dropped off, that was more of a handbook.
No, this was part of it.
but I would
One
put in
that I
there,
got.
just for, between you and me, what I would have on there, and I think there should be something too, is that if we are to fly the drone at night, it must follow the guidelines, the FAA and waiver requirements.
That goes against what she's trying to say. She said she doesn't want it flown at night. Why can't we just stipulate that until we change the policy?
Well, I think we're gonna have a problem then during the football games that start at 7
Oh, I get that. You're gonna have to change it.
Because it is night.
You're gonna have to change the policy.
It's well lit, but it is night.
You're gonna have to change the policy at that
If-
point.
If 6:35 is dusk and we're flying it at 7, it is night. So I guess that'd be something to ask during the, it's
I-
changed, I guess, because you're flying around a lighted area, but if Sue's saying no flying at night, so
I
that's
think
something
it's
to-
technicality, but if you want to put it in there, I have no objections.
Well, I'm just
I
saying,
would.
maybe we're a long time away from next October.
Oh, sure, you are.
Something that you
I don't
probably
think I
should-
can probably live long enough. Hopefully I can, but
This whole thing's gonna be fluid. It's gonna be adjusted.
So if we're registering to fly it, why are we not registering to fly at night?
you have
Why are we not
to,
flying?
you have to apply for a special waiver to fly at night.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Page 2 of the operational manual, we have the whole list of all the procedures we can and cannot do on page 2. The guidelines of
No,
the
but
USA
I don't
recreational
understand
users.
why we can't have a written policy. That's what I'm asking for.
Make a motion to have a written policy and then we'll vote on it. And then we'll move on. I make a motion that the policy state that there'll be no flying the drone at night until further notice.
Support.
Then we can maybe move on.
Okay, we have a motion by Dunn, supported by Hunwick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. new business, committee reports, technical. Anybody?
We have nothing.
Personnel has nothing, facilities.
There's nothing.
Managers report.
No report today?
Commissioner comments, Ed?
I have no comment.
Lori?
Nothing.
Sharp?
Nothing.
Bill?
Nothing?
I had
Wish
a question.
everybody a happy Memorial Day.
Wait,
I had a question. Should we change on the last page for the Oakland County Investment Pool? We had carried this $200,000 earmark along, and yet in our budget, there is a $300,000 note. Should we change that to 300,000?
I believe we should.
Okay.
I think that 200's been on there for a while, and at the beginning of the year, I think we added another $100,000.
Okay. We'll change that next time.
Public comment?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
it's been a molded
We have a
glass.
motion by Dunn, supported by Sotheby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.